difficulties before, but we are here now. And I want to welcome everybody who is watching this either live or on the replay. Every week, I bring to you, if you're a part of this community, a skills Q&A. And today we're going to be talking about the trifecta, the skill trifecta. Now, what is the skill trifecta exactly, and who came up with it? Well, it's me who came up with it, and I'm going to be showing you it today and putting it and telling you how you can put this into action. Now, why should you be listening or even care about this? Well, a lot of times when we are pursuing something, we're wondering if it's going to interest us. Is it going to be something that can keep our attention long enough for us to stick with it? Another question you may be asking yourself is this something that can make me money? Is it something that can provide me an income, some sustenance, so that I'm able to provide for my family, or I'm able to, really finally start to leave my career or whatever it is that I'm doing? And then the third question you may be asking yourself is this something that I can really excel at? I can get better. I can, become excellent or achieve mastery in. And that's why you're going to want to pay attention to what, I'm going to be covering here today. And it's very simple, as with all things that I do. I don't like to complicate things. I really like to simplify them. And so when you think about the skill trifecta, you can think of really 3 circles in a Venn diagram. So I'm going to have my handy dandy notebook here to show you. And so the first circle right here, hopefully you can see that. Maybe it's a little bright and I need to turn down the lighting a little bit, but you can probably see if my camera's not focusing out too much that's the first circle. So the first circle is going to be interest, right? So that's going to be your interest. And again, I don't know how well you can see that, but if you can, I'll put a graphic somewhere here later so you can actually see what this looks like in more detail. And the second circle here is going to be income. So that's interest and that's income, right? And you can start to see there's a pattern already starting to form here. And then the last circle is going to be talents / skills, right? So skills, talent right here. This is interest and this is income. So which one do you go for? Where do you focus, right? Where do you spend your time? How do you know which one of these areas to focus on? And the key is all 3. Now let me show you a little something here that you're probably going to, if you study Venn diagrams or you're into this kind of stuff, you'll probably already start to notice that there's a pattern, right? So in that little, kind of axis right there, the middle part is what I call the sweet spot. Now the sweet spot is literally where you want to be aiming, right? The sweet spot is this little axis where everything kind of meets. Now, why do you want to focus there? Well, if you have one of these or 2 of these, it's kind of like a 2-legged stool, right? If you ever sat on a stool, a stool has 3 legs, 1, 2, 3. And if one of those legs is gone, what happens? Boop. The stool can't stand up, or the chair, whatever it is you have. So the key here is to have all 3. And let's say, for example, you're interested in sales, right? That's something that you're interested in. And you know that sales can make you money, right? Because you can sell, you can make money. But selling isn't really something that you have a talent with, right? You don't like talking to people. You're definitely afraid of people, right? So you're more of like you feel like you're more behind the scenes, and that's where you like to work, kind of in a nook or in a cranny behind the scenes. You don't like to talk to people a lot. So, and the skills trifecta, you don't have all three. You have just two of these. So you have income and you have interest, but you don't have the talent or the skill. Now, you could hypothetically get better, right? You could, get your selling skills up. But, if that's something that you're not naturally inclined with, it may not be something that you want to pursue. So, and if that's the case, you're only going to have two of these, right? You're only going to have the interest and the income, but you're not going to have the talent. And just like any other two-legged stool, it's going to tip over eventually. It's not sustainable. You can probably do it for a short period of time, but over the long haul, it's not sustainable. Now, let's say, for example, for that same example, let's say that you have an interest in writing, for example. You know that you can make income from writing, either writing books or writing for other people. Maybe you're a ghostwriter. Maybe you write for a major publication. And you have a talent. You have a specific knack for being able to write. Writing comes more naturally to you. It flows to you. It's kind of like one of those things where like you can write in your sleep, right? So what you have is the trifecta because you have all three. You have the interest, you have the ability to make money, and you have talent. So let's look at another example. Let's say, for example, I wanted to, or not me, you. Let's use you as an example. Let's say you wanted to open up a e-commerce store. How about that? E-commerce. So e-commerce is something that, if you're thinking about it, you can obviously make money from it. You have an interest in it. Now, the talent and the skills. Do you have the ability to sell online? Do you have a skill set for being able to start a online business? You might not have that talent or that skill. However, you can learn that skill. So in this example, with your e-commerce business, you have an interest, you can make money. You may not have the talent, but you're willing to learn the skill. And then you have the trifecta, right? So another example, just kind of beating this over your head because I know the more that I repeat it and dial it in, the more you're going to get it. Another example, let's say you want to, non-related to business, but career. Let's say you want to be a doctor, right? And this isn't to shoot down anybody's dreams, but let's say you want to be a doctor. So a doctor, you can make money, you have an interest, now the talent and the skill. Now, are you willing to commit to go to college for however many, 8, 9, 7, however many long years you got to go to college to be able to be able to do surgeries and cut on people? And I don't even know, right? You can tell that I should never be cutting or operating on people because I don't even know how long it takes to go to school, right? But you're going to have to go to school for that. Now, if you're not talented in the areas of testing, in the areas of human physiology and the body and spending long hours in the lab and doing all of that stuff, if you'd rather be out and about, adventure, kind of don't like routine like me, really like things to kind of be diversified and switched up. You don't like to follow the rules. You don't like to listen to people. Then what you're probably going to find is that this is a two-legged stool. You got yourself a two-legged stool situation. You don't have the trifecta. Now, take that same example, and let's say you're dynamic, you're outgoing, you have a vivacious personality, people are drawn to you, they love you, they think you're charismatic. Now, here you have, you say, I'm interested in speaking. I know I can make an income. And this is a talent that I have. Like, people come to you and they say, look, like, I love the way you articulate that. I love hearing you on podcasts. Well, you got the trifecta, baby. Boom, you got the trifecta. So this is the skill trifecta, right? This is the sweet spot. Your goal with whatever you're doing should always, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, you may not agree, to be to aim for the sweet spot right here, right? Because without that, you just have one of these, or maybe you have two of these, but you don't have all three. And you really need all three in order to be able to sustain with whatever you're doing, right? I love the starving artist example, right? Because I was a starving artist for a while. And it's like this idea that you can just one day that you're going to just make it, right? And that's possible. Some people do make it one day, but some people don't. Again, this isn't me to shoot down your dreams. This is like me saying, well, maybe there's a better way of going about doing what you're doing versus just not focusing on having all of these three components and having the trifecta. Because you can be a great writer, right? And you can be interested in writing, but if there's not a way for you to create an income around your writing, it's just a hobby. Again, that's okay. That's fine, right? But if you're trying to take it up a notch, if you're trying to take it to the next level, if you really want it to be something that you are all in with, then you're going to have to make an income from it. It doesn't mean you have to get rich off of it. It doesn't mean you have to be a billionaire, but it has to be able to, give you the substance to pay, your rent, maybe save a couple of bucks, maybe put some money on the side for a nice vacation, investments, healthcare, all those things. And that, my friends, is the skill trifecta. Appreciate you coming by for this Q&A today. More to come. Stay tuned. Check out more of what we have here for you, and I'll see you real soon.